Previously on Umpire Magazine, The Hot Take. Two voices, one magazine, a fondue fountain, a color-coded enemies binder, and a man named Gerald watching Manic Miner alone with his flask. When we last left our heroes, Alex had admitted to adoring Tom Vandenberg, and I had received a standing ovation for my standing ovation. And now,
I'm going to stop you right there because that is not what happened. That is not how recaps work. And I never said I adored Tom Vandenberg. I said I respected the structural elegance of Hans Vaughn's Enemies Binder more than any film currently playing in Follywood, which is a completely different emotional category. Welcome back to Umpire Magazine, The Hot Take. I'm Alex, and Jamie has already committed revisionist history within the first breath.
and I'm Jamie. You literally said, give Hans Vaughn a 6-part docuseries, and you called Vandenbergy adorable. I have the transcript tattooed on my soul. But welcome back, everybody, because Follywood has somehow gotten more unhinged, and I didn't think that was physically possible.
So last week I said the critical bar was in hell and we were doing the limbo. I need to update that metaphor. This week every single new release opened at 3 out of 10. The bar isn't in hell anymore, it's been formally decommissioned and sold for scrap. But before we get there, Jamie, Pitch Black has personally called you out by name.
I know, and honestly, I'm flattered. Pitch Black issued an official press release, a shareholder-facing, market-moving document, to correct me, Jamie, of Umpire Magazine, The Hot Take. Because I apparently said Fearscape Ghost in I Was a Shire Film when it's actually a Pitch Black joint. He got a 3.7% stock bump off that correction. I moved markets. Alex, I am a market force.
You misidentified a film studio and a CEO used it as a press opportunity and the stock went up. You didn't move markets, Jamie. You were the typo that launched a rally. And then, and I need everyone to absorb this slowly, he added a postscript that said, and I quote, "Fans, ? Pirate our films. We don't mind." He got cut off mid-sentence. His official anti-piracy strategy is not having one, delivered via a statement that appears to have been interrupted by either a rogue intern or a failing Wi-Fi connection.
It's punk, Alex. Last week, we talked about Pitch Black running a streaming platform on the budget of a dessert trolley with a fondue fountain. And now he's telling people to just pirate the stuff if they can't find it. The magazine calls it the most unusual rights declaration since the Napster era, and I think that undersells it. This is a man who framed a fruit basket of shade last week, and this week he's rewriting copyright law through vibes.
Meanwhile, Dan Antino over at Shire Films released his own statement about the last Starfighter being a passion project he's wanted to make since he was a boy, and he asked critics to go easy because, and again, I quote, "You tread upon my dreams." The stock dropped 1%. The market heard a grown man's childhood dream and immediately shorted it.
The magazine calls it dream-adjacent volatility, and that might be the saddest financial term I've ever heard. But okay. Pitch Black also sent him a fruit basket with a card that said, "We hold all rights to the other one, just FYI." He weaponized fruit again. Last week it was the congratulations on your little hobby basket from Mr. T, and now Pitch Black is sending his own passive-aggressive produce. Follywood runs on citrus and contempt.
And then there's MCVW at Mike's Movies, who stormed out of a Planet of Death Notes meeting because the notes were printed in Helvetica instead of whatever he considers the industry-approved font. He called the document meteorologically unstable. Staffers are running a betting pool on whether he'll make it past page 5 of any meeting. The stock went up 3.6%. The magazine is calling it the spite bump.
The spite bump. And the internal memo denying any crisis was reportedly written in 12 different typefaces, including Comic Sans. Meanwhile, Q Jackson at Big Sid Productions got into a 40-minute staring contest with a cardboard standee and lost. And the standee now has its own chair in the edit bay. Shares dropped 3.7%. That's the cardboard correction, Alex. We are living in an age of named economic phenomena based on office furniture disputes.
Pitch Black also took a 5% hit after hosting a charades tournament at the Believe It or Not wrap party with a fog machine. People who correctly mimed Haunted Lighthouse got hired. People who guessed Confused Sailor got sent to catering. That's the hiring process now. That's how you get a job at Pitch Black Pictures.
Okay, but let's talk box office because God is a She Volume 2 just pulled another 25.7 million, and the total is now past 73.9. Last week you mocked me, mercilessly, I will add, for my ironic standing ovation for a 5 out of 10, and I said it was vindicated at 55 million, and now it's nearly 74 million. The magazine says the critics sniff average and the accountants whisper historic, and I am here for the accountants.
$74 million for a 5. A 5. Last week I called the best film on the slate The Tallest Person in a Room Full of People Lying Down, and nothing has changed except more people lying down showed up and brought money. Iron House has hit 75.7 million total, but its weekly take collapsed to 9.6. Pitch Black sent an all-caps memo that said, "Let's rock the Iron House," and Vandenberger printed it and stuck it on his dartboard. That's the level of respect, a $75 million 4 out of 10 commands.
The magazine gave Iron House a genuine valedictory round of applause, though. They said sometimes a 4 out of 10 film becomes a $75 million memory, and that's cinema. That's beautiful, Alex. Even Umpire, our own cynical publication, got sentimental about Iron House on its way out the door.
And below that, The Tale of a Hero made 19.5 million at 3 out of 10, which is apparently what happens when the animation is pretty and there's nothing else to watch. The Silent Waltz pulled in $613,000 against a 2 out of 10, which the magazine notes wouldn't cover catering on a medium-sized short film. Remember last week when I said Manic Miner was being screened exclusively for a man named Gerald and his flask? The Silent Waltz makes Gerald's screening look like a cultural event.
But here's what truly terrifies me. Next week, 4 new releases. Downstairs, Reality, Underland, The Rising Waltz, and Clockwork Hearts. All 4 rated 3 out of 10. 4 threes. The magazine says, if you squint, there's poetic symmetry, and if you don't squint, there's just a bleak week ahead. The Rising Waltz is described as having stumbled onto the dance floor with 2 left feet and a blindfold.
Clockwork Hearts is a steampunk romance about a mechanic who rebuilds hearts for the rich, while her own fails. The magazine says it has premise to spare and craft to burn, but not in the good way. That might be the most elegant destruction of a film I've read all year. 4 films, 4 threes, and we're supposed to be excited about next week.
Okay, but I need to pivot to the Follywood League because this is genuinely the most suspenseful non-event in sporting history. Anubis FC, backed by Mobile Tim Company, and Pitch, the Pitch Black Pictures banner, both sitting at 0 points, 0 games played, 0 goals. The magazine says the table is so perfectly symmetrical it could hang in the Tate Modern.
It's week 1 of 2. And no fixtures have been completed. They're both just standing on an empty pitch, staring at each other. The magazine compared them to 2 cats on a garden wall, and honestly, that's generous because cats eventually do something. Mobile Mr. T was spotted in the car park doing pre-match visualization. Visualizing what? 0?
And Pitch Black blamed the non-result on font choices made by the scheduling committee. He blamed fonts. This is the same man whose studio just had a spite bump over typefaces, and now he's bringing font grievances into football. Toxic fan forums have already split into factions with a 47-page thread debating whether 0 points is a strategy.
0 points as a strategy. 47 pages. That thread has more passion invested in it than any film currently scoring above a 4. I genuinely believe the Follywood League table, 2 teams, both on nothing, is the most honest piece of criticism this industry has produced all year. It's a perfect mirror of the creative output. 0 goals, 0 ambition, 0 films above a 5.
Oh, one more gossip hit. Hans Vaughn, the man you wanted the docuseries about last week, is now staging full opening night curtain calls before daily screenings. Velvet rope, personal spotlight operator, a sincere bow to the craft services cart. He's added 45 minutes to every morning schedule, and nobody can stop him.
Last week, it was the enemy's binder sorted by release date. This week, it's a West End curtain call for raw footage. I retract nothing. Give this man a 12-part series. Give him a theater. Give him a knighthood. He is the only person in Follywood who understands that if the films won't be dramatic, the process must be. That's our show, folks.
That is our show. Follywood, where the league table has 0 goals, the best film is a 5. Pitch Black is endorsing piracy and blaming fonts.